What's up, guys? We're back at Jones Subwoofer Solutions again. Got another amp dyno for you. Today it is the brand new Taramps Smart 5K with the smart power control system. This will make the same power from 1 to about 3 ohms, and it is a 5K. So that is what we've got on the bench today. Real quick, it did come with a Taramps window banner. It did come with the clip and protect indicator and a little warranty card. And that's it. So drop your guesses below. This is a 5,000 watt amp. Let me know what you think it'll do, and I'll catch you on the dyno. We'll see. Hey guys, real quick before we get into the dyno videos, I want to just cover a few things, just to explain a few things about these smart amps. So first of all, they do have what they call their smart power control system, and there's really two main functions to that. The first is, of course, it makes power the same between about 1 and 3 ohms when you're wired to 1 to 3 ohms. The other thing is that it has like an active overcurrent protection that's different than other amps that may have current protection. Like other Taramps, it may simply go into a protect mode, where on these smart amps it can actually throttle what it's doing. It'll actually throttle the current down so that it doesn't blow. But just something that you may see in the dyno videos, it may act different than other amps, and that is why. The second thing I want to cover real quick is just how the dyno works. There has been questions and confusion in the comments before. The dyno is, say, at 1 ohm. It is a 1 ohm load, and that doesn't change. In a vehicle with a speaker with a transducer connected, you get what's called impedance rise. And what the amp sees is actually higher than what you initially wired to. So just know, if you wire something to 1 ohm in a car, you're going to see above 1 ohm. That's why we do the 2 and 4 ohm runs. Whereas on the bench, when we hook an amp up to 1 ohm, it's a fixed 1 ohm load on the amp. So hopefully that clears up some confusion on why the amp behaves, why it might. But that said, catch you on the dyno. We'll see you in a minute. Alright guys, here we are on the dyno. And the way we're going to do this, just like usual, we're going to start with certified runs, then uncertified runs, then the dynamic runs. And we're going to start with 4 ohms, then do 2 ohms, and then do 1 ohm. And on this amp, I think we may finish trying some half ohm runs. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe at the end we'll sneak those in. So without further ado, make sure you guys have dropped your guesses below, and we will start with certified. And I'm going to start with 4 ohms. I don't know if Taramps has published a rating for 4 ohms, but regardless, we'll find out what it does. Now I am running my power supplies today at about 14.8 volts. And they're 100 amp power supplies, so you may see the voltage not budge much. That's why. So we are starting 14.6 volts at the battery, and again, I don't see a rating on this, so we'll see what it does. 4 ohms, certified up to 1% distortion. Here we go. And we got 3,895 watts into 4 ohms, dropping to 14.3 volts. Not bad at all for a 4 ohm run. And we're going back. We'll try 2 ohms. 2 ohms, this is 5,000 watts. Certified on the dyno, 2 ohms up to 1% distortion. And we're starting at 14.58 volts. Here we go. Again, rated 5,000 watts. And we got well over 5,000 watts. We got 6,241 watts, dropping to 14.2 volts. So well overrated at 2 ohms. We'll try 1 ohm. And sorry for the noise, that is the Taramps fans. So 1 ohm certified. This is rated 5,000 watts. Starting at 14.5 volts. Here we go. All right, that time we did have the smart technology jump in. We got 4,750 watts into 1 ohm, dropping to 14.2 volts. And I think we're going to try that 1 ohm run one more time, just to see if the amp does the same thing. So here we are, 14.5 volts, certified 1 ohm run. This is rated 5,000 watts. Here we go. And again, it looks like the smart technology took over. We got 4,643 watts into 1 ohm, dropping to 14.2 volts. So we'll continue on to uncertified testing. Uncertified is into clipping. Again, we're going to start with 4 ohms. We're starting at 14.6 volts. Here we go. Again, I don't believe Taramps published a 4 ohm rating. They may have. And we got 3,916 watts into 4 ohms, dropping to 14.3 volts. Not bad at all. 2 ohms again, starting at 14.5 volts. This is uncertified into clipping, rated 5,000 watts. And again, we got 6,000 watts, 6,182 watts into 2 ohms. Saw 14.2 volts there. So one more for uncertified. We're going to try 1 ohm, starting at 14.48 volts. Here we go, again rated 5,000 watts. This is uncertified into clipping. And this time we get 4,508 watts at 1 ohm before the smart technology slowed us down. And that is to protect the amp, guys. That is 1 ohm. If you were to wire to half ohm, you may rise into 1 ohm. The amp is only rated 1 ohm stable. So that is just the amp protecting itself on a low impedance run. So dynamic, which is a burst test. I'm going to start at 4 ohms. And that is a 40 hertz tone that gets burst, starting at 14.5 volts, 4 ohms. We got 3,843 watts into 4 ohms, dropped to 14.2 volts. And 2 ohms burst, starting at 14.5 volts. Over 6,000 watts. Wow. 6,717 watts into 2 ohms dynamic. We dropped to 14.4 volts. Crazy numbers at 2 ohms. We'll try 1 ohm. Again, this is a burst track. Starting a little lower, 14.48 volts. And dynamic, we got 10,687 watts into 1 ohm, dropped to 14.2 volts. Crazy numbers out of this amp. We'll try that one more time just to be sure. I know you guys would ask for it. So here we go again. Burst 1 ohm. On the Smart 5K, we're starting at 14.48 volts. Here we go. Just crazy numbers out of this thing. 10,668 watts into 1 ohm, dropping to 14.2 volts. So this amp definitely can do some serious power in the burst department. So that's all I have for our regular dyno testing. If you guys want to hang on 1 second, I'm going to reset and we will check out what this amp will do at half ohm. Alright guys, back on the dyno. We're going to do some of these half ohm runs. Now, because of the way the amp works, I don't think we're going to see all the power on these certified tests, but on dynamic it should let out some of that power, so should be safe. I just don't know that you guys are going to see crazy output because we're wired low. The amp will try to protect itself. So with that said, we will start with certified all the way down to half ohm. We're starting at 14.38 volts. And here we go. Smart 5K at half ohm. And that might be it. So 2,623 watts at half ohm, dropping to 14.2 volts. You guys would have to wire into the dirt to even see this in real use. So that's more just an example of the amp's protection working and showing you what it does if you did happen to wire that low. So we're going to go straight into dynamic because the uncertified really won't vary from that one. So dynamic and half ohm. Again, the Smart 5K. We're at 14.38 volts starting. Here we go. Half ohm, dynamic. All right, that was it. 13,721 watts into half ohm. We dropped to 14.3 volts. So let me know what you guys think of that. I'm going to take this down. We'll get a look inside. Catch you back on the bench. Alright guys, welcome back. We've got the back of the Taramps open. We can look inside, get a better look. Now I know there's not a whole lot in there, but if you guys know how these Brazilian full bridge amps go, there's not a ton of components inside them. There's the cooling fans that are temperature controlled. Those caps are 2200 microfarad, 200 volts. Can't really make out what the smaller caps say. We'll take a look at the end caps here. On this end are your power and ground inputs. Those are 2 watt sized inputs, couldn't quite fit our 4-aught welding cable in there, but the 2-aught did slide in. We used our dual inputs with 2-aught installed in those. You can see it's grounds on the outside, power on the inside, and those are the fan ports there. And on the other end, you do have an in and an out for your RCAs. I was using a Y splitter there. Your gain adjustment. Crossover has a 10 Hertz to 90 Hertz high pass filter or subsonic filter. And the low pass goes from 90 Hertz to 8,000 Hertz. There is a bass boost adjustable from 35 to 55 Hertz and 0 to 10 dB. There is your connection for the clip monitor. And those are roughly 10 gauge, maybe 8 gauge speaker outputs with a smaller remote screw. And that is it for the Taramps Smart 5K. So very good numbers all around the board. I know that the 1 ohm numbers look low, but trust me guys, if you wire to 1 ohm, you'll be rising above 1 ohm and you'll see more power out of it than what you actually saw on the dyno at 1 ohm. So crazy dynamic numbers especially. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys want to see next. If you have any tips, suggestions, requests. As always, I want to thank all of you for watching. My subscriptions are what keep the channel going. If you haven't subscribed, please do hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell so you know when we post a new video. Give us a share, give us a like. Again, I appreciate you all. I'll see you next time.
Three peanut butter jellies ain't found a job yet. Miles when I call me, tell them that I'm on that. Say that I'm trying, but I'm lying when I'm rhyming. Working on a resume, gotta have you call back. Really, this mine if you think about it, right? This is my time, and they tell me that I grind. I know that, but it's nice to be reminded about that time and time again. What time is it? Don't really matter though. Not my money, got cash in an envelope. Got caught up, one call on the telephone. Had to switch the address, which way to let it go. They switch from the header of a bitch when I bet I'm blues. Rolls out on my told them I know nothing. Can't say the same for you. Straight pussy, no pedestal. Mad that I'm still laying around. Why does it take so long? Failing to fall off. Well, I'm not gonna. Okay, now walk with me. Life's so sweet in a ratchet tea. Wanna get a handout, not from me. They didn't pay for the food, but they wanna eat, and I gotta eat. That's for damn sure. Dig right in, I don't mind my manners. Vibing now to my own shit. Tell them it ain't me, go buy this. Since it's 18, they grinding cents. Whatever they mean, they run like shit. Me and they like tags. One of the daydreams of private jets. A curve hamster, they heard that early. Had his laundry in the basement. Not bad, better than the laundromat. Still sucks though, it's cool and operated. Mad that I'm still laying